Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a good day today. Another TGIMMM. Thank God it's Money Monday. Money Making Monday. 3 M's. So today, it was kind of a iffy. It kind of started out a little slow. We had some movers, did have some potential to make some profit. No doubt there was potential there. We just didn't have a big breakout, exciting day like we always look for. But it was nice, and we're gonna go over my day here in a minute. But I tweeted this quote out, and I don't know who to attribute it to because some of everybody has said it, and couldn't figure out who to give credit for. So I'll take credit right now. But it goes, your salary is the bribe your job gives you to forget your dreams. And what I feel this means is that for those of you who are going to work, you really don't have a passion for what you're doing, but you're putting everything in it because you're getting that paycheck, you need to pay your bills, and you need to take care of home. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that because I did the same thing. I love teaching the kids. I love my students. I love what I did. I hated the place I worked. I hated the politics that was within that school district. We were creating students that really couldn't take care of themselves. Too many of them. Now, some students had great parents, great role models, and they were ready. But we were letting too many students come through, and just giving them things that they're not going to get when they get in the workforce. And it was really frustrating. I hated waking up going to that school, but I look forward to my students. That was the best part of my day. So if you have a job that you go to and you're passionate about, and you don't even need an alarm clock to wake up to go, then there's nothing wrong with that. You are living your dream. It's a dream job. It's what you always wanted growing up, and you're happy, you're content. I'm talking to everybody that when you go to work, you love what you do, you enjoy it, but you feel so much more inside of you that's just burning to come out. You're kind of caught in where you are, and you can't go anywhere because you're working for somebody else. Yeah, you're getting paid, but you're getting paid a fraction of what the business owner is getting, and you're help facilitating their dreams. So why shouldn't you be at that point working on your dreams? If you feel that inside of you, I felt that inside of me. My wife told me over and over again, look, there's more in you. I listen to you talk. I hear your ideas. You just need to act on it. And for a long time, I was just a slave to my job. The bribe was the paycheck, the good hours, being off during the summer, being off on holidays. All of that was the bribe. But I felt trapped in that classroom. I felt that there was so much inside of me wanting to come out. And I know there's a lot of you feel that same way when you go to work every day. That there's so much inside of you. You can do so much more if you had the opportunity. Well, nobody's going to come up to you and say, hey, here's your opportunity. Go do it. Your boss is not going to say, hey, you can take 6 months off to try to get to work on your dreams, and and all of that. Nope, they're not going to do that. Yeah, you'll get a bone here and there. You'll get a vacation. You'll get the sick day here and there. But you're going to have to make the decision that I'm going to have to work on me. And whatever you need to do, you got to do it. I took everything from my job that I could use to help me reach my dream. The last 3 years I was working, I worked just as hard on me as I did on my students. And that was how I was able to be ready when that opportunity came for me to live my dream. You have to be ready. And if you're sitting around waiting for the opportunity and you're working for somebody, it's not going to come. Some people are forced into it because they're fired by their jobs. They don't have anything else to do, and they're forced into it. Most of us won't be forced into it. We're willingly doing it because we have to make a living. We have to take care of our family. And I'm not saying that's not good. That is good. That's being responsible. But why not work on you? Why not work on that fire that's burning inside of you that's just dying to come out? Do the things that you need to do. While you're working, use it to better you. Use it to further you along in what you do. So to me, that's what this means. Your salary is the bribe that they give you to keep you, not just to forget your dreams, but to keep you from reaching them, for reaching out and grabbing them. Because the more you stay down and have that tunnel vision, your dreams and your goals are going to look so far away that you feel that they're unattainable. But I'm telling you, they are. And the sooner that you decide that you're going to work on you and that you're bigger than where you are now, and that you're going to work hard to work yourself out of where you are and into where you need to be or where you desire to be, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the changes I'm making after I do the recap. I want to do the recap first, and then whoever still has questions or needs some clarity on it, I'm gonna try to clear that up after I do the recap here. So let's look at some of the trades I took today. So let's look at SQ was the first trade I took today. So this hit my scan, and this was actually gapping up. And when I put this on my watch list, my bias was to the long side because we were pushing up. We were over all of the moving averages in VWAP. Everything was looking strong. And then at 9 o'clock, we really started selling off. Or close to 9, we started selling off. And selling off and selling off. So at that point, once we got below, I had a neutral bias. It could bounce and push up, or it could sell off and go down. That's why initially I always have two plans. I have a plan for long and I have a plan for short. So when it opens, I can execute my plan based on what I see here. So in this case, let me show you the daily chart. What I was looking at, we made a new high on Thursday. We made a new high, a 52-week high on Friday. This morning we were gapping up. And I said, well, if it's gapped up and we continue this strength, we can continue to push up. Or if not, we're going to pull back and we're going to close this gap. And at least, maybe bounce off of yesterday's close. This is what happens sometimes, or Friday's close. So when we make new highs, people will come in thinking they're going to buy it, but then you have a lot of people who were in this, got the gap up, and they're going to sell it off. They're just going to dump their positions. And, sometimes it'll sell off all day long, and sometimes it will come back and bounce and then start to make that move back up. But either way, when it started looking short, I knew exactly what I wanted to do because I had made a plan to go long, and short. So, here's the daily chart. I'm sorry, I'm sitting here talking and I didn't have the daily chart up. So here's the daily chart I was looking at. We made a new high on Thursday, made a new high on Friday. Here's Friday's close. We gapped up today. So we could either continue up or we're going to pull back and close that gap. So I let the open tell me what we're going to most likely do. And that's why I like to wait for the first 5-minute candle to print to give me some indication of what it's going to do. Now, I jumped on this about 25 seconds too early or 20 seconds early. Oh, well, these orders feel 3 seconds apart, but I got in here right before the close of this first 5-minute candle, and I was using the VWAP as my guide here. I could use the close of this candle, but VWAP was a technical level that if we close back above it, my trade plan is dead. My first target was going to be 35.25. It came down and it couldn't hit it. So I went ahead and I was going to put my order in right here at 35.25. But I must have punched in the wrong number or something, because as soon as I put my bid out, it got hit at 33. So this wasn't, I wanted to cover here, just below here. But, I don't know. I can't say it was a platform because I didn't double check the order. Typically, I like to double check the price if I'm typing it in. I do have dyslexia, and sometimes that does cause an issue. So I didn't follow my procedure for double checking the order, and I think that might have been what happened here. So my next target was going to be the red to green line, and then my final target was going to be the 200, which, let me see, I don't have it on this chart. It's right here. It's on this chart. So my final target was going to be the 200. Well, because this kind of threw me off, I held through this a little bit and ended up taking it off taking half off, halfway between here and the 200. So I waited. This candle sold off, came close. It came within 3 cents, I believe, of hitting my order here. Now, there are 3 ways I can put my order out. I can do it real conservative, meaning I can put it 5 to 10 cents above the level. I can do it real aggressive, make it 5 to 10 cents below, or I can put it right on this level. I had it right on the 200 to where it should have just pulled back, and once it got close, get sucked into the 200, hit my order, and I'd have been done. But it didn't. It started to recover, so I went ahead and took it off. Just took it on that profit stop. So turned out that wasn't a bad decision, because I would have been stopped out here anyway and would have lost that profit there. And here we had a higher low bounce. So once we did that, I took eyes off of this. We put in a higher low. That means the trend is not going to hold to the downside. We're probably going back up. And So I stopped watching it. But you can see here at lunchtime, it got snuck down, pulled back some more before we started to ramp back up and go back up toward the open. But I felt I managed this pretty good. I did what I had to do to make sure I can lock some profit in. This is one of the changes that I made from the previous weeks, because before I was expecting the market to be solid and give us complete follow through, and I would have sat here and held this until we got there, or ended up I would have been stopped out before we made that move. But overall, I was pretty pleased with the way I traded this. This is exactly, the way I want to trade. Now, let's see, what did we make? 118.83. It's not bad, because you have to remember, we're trading smaller size. We are growing our account, and we have to do it consistently by trading with skill, making sure that we have the foundation, and that we know exactly what we're doing. Because if we don't, we'll never get in a trade. Fear will take over, and we will never pull the trigger, or we will never allow the trade to work. So it takes patience, and it takes understanding and being able to read price action. And that's what I want to teach everybody. That's my goal, is to try to teach you how to read this price action, when you should and shouldn't get in trades. Now, some people get in shorting into support, and it works out for them. Hey, that's great. But when the market is not solid, those trades aren't going to work. And you're going to start going backwards, and you're going to try to figure out, why is everything unraveling on me? It's because your foundation is not right. It's a little shaky. And you have to go back in and reinforce it. But all in all, pretty pleased with this trade. The other stock that I was looking at on my watch list is ADMS. And I had to choose between the SQ and ADMS. So you saw the daily chart on SQ, and you saw the window and the gap that I was looking at. So on this one, on the daily chart, you can see we had two ascending resistance lines. One I had started back here in January, and we hit the top of this and hit the top of this, and this ran right into this level, almost to the penny. Ran right into it. Here I had this one. This is the one that I think Finviz had drawn. But they crossed right here, where this stock made this major run up and then this major sell-off. And so I was trying to figure out, well, okay, which one is going to be more solid? So I was looking at this one. And the way you trade these is, when this stock opens and it makes a run up to this level, you can trade it from the open up here, dump it, and flip it short. And you can really, profit on these. That's a little bit faster than I like to trade. So I typically just wait for it to go up, reject, and get in. But this moved a little bit too fast. Wait a minute. This moved a little bit too fast for me. I wasn't able to catch it, which, made me end up looking at the other one, that the SQ, and getting in it. But you can see this was an ideal thing. Had I been able to get, be quick and catch it up here, this was a monster pullback. a monster pullback here. And great. And I think a few people in chat did get this. But this was a monster. And then, you know, we had the reversal here off of this level, off of 22 really. Made another big run up. But this is pretty choppy. This is the kind of price action that can just chop you out. You get in, it stops you out. You get in, stops you out. And it'll frustrate you, and you end up spending all your money on commissions. And you really don't have a solid move in here. But this is what I was looking at. And this is why you always want to look at the daily chart. Because you've got these stocks typically work alongside the daily chart. You see here we had some support here, support here. We had we had a pretty decent chart here. I just chose the other one because it looked like it was setting up first. It looked cleaner, and that's how I ended up doing it. But the good thing is, when you have this problem and you have stocks and all your stocks work out, it's just that you weren't in the one that may have worked out the best. So that's just the way, I guess, the way the market is what it is. You pick the stocks that you think are going to go, you get in it. The one I was in made a decent move. It just didn't follow through all the way. This ADMS was real nice. EXPE was the second trade I took, and this was a trend continuation. We had this huge sell-off, a nice little bounce. Now I was watching this bounce because I was thinking about getting in this. But, you know, I waited for it to come back and wait for it to confirm that we were losing this. So I got the confirmation off the 2-minute chart and got in. Made a nice move down, but then got bought back up to the 9. Sold off, was able to get my first target here. You know, which was good. And I just held on to it, trying to get this level here. This 119.65. Ended up having to stop out and waited for it to reset again. Got short here, took some off here, and then ended up getting stopped out again on this crazy pop. But, you know, worked it out in the 2 trades. See, 1, 2, 3, 6 tickets. Oh, it tells you right here, dummy. So 90.63 was, you know, what we got on that. Really, for all of the work, you would have hoped it would have been a little bit more, but again, you're trading small size. We missed a huge move. Now we're just picking up the scraps, is what it amounts to. All right, so the last trade I made was AMT. Well, this wasn't the last one, but this is one that really I got upset at myself about after I sat down and watched it. That was just not a smart trade, because what happened, this was on our reversal scan, and what I saw was these candles, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. Lower high, lower low, let's get in this. I didn't even look at the daily, didn't look at anything to see where any support was, where any resistance was. I just saw this getting in and coming all the way back. Well, that was dumb, because as soon as I got in, this darn thing got bought up and it went green on me. And this whole candle ended up taking me out. So I gave it enough room, but it ended up taking me out. The other problem is my stop should have been at 140, at 143 even. That's where my stop was supposed to be, at 143. I think I mentioned it in chat. But when it came time to put it in, I thought I had a better idea, and turns out I didn't. So just had to eat this. I let it go too far, and ended up, instead of giving it the $50 I wanted, giving it $100. So I ended up minus $92.62. So I had a decent day, an okay day, profit wise going. Now it's just over $100, which is not bad when you're trading with a smaller account, smaller size. For a day like today where things were slow and just didn't get through, this is where we ended up. So I don't really have a problem with this trade, other than I didn't go in and vet it like I should have. This was just kind of an impulse jump in because I liked the setup. Jumped in it and it didn't work. Ended up stopping me out. Look at these candles. This is just untradeable here. Untradeable. So this was a mistake I made, and then I let the stop get away from me, which is another big no-no. So I could have saved $42 had I stuck to my stop. All right, so that's that for today. I'm pretty pleased with how I managed it based on how out of control I felt the last couple of weeks. I believe I got my head screwed on straight. Got everything clicking, really. So feel pretty good about that. So one of the things that I talked about yesterday in that update video, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. That'll explain a lot more than what I'm explaining with these. What I'm going to explain here. There are two trading paths you can take in our community: day trading and swing trading. I got short-term swing trading because that's all it is short-term. On the day trading path you get the day trading education chat room, which everybody comes in now, and we have that weekly education webinar. Every Wednesday we do have that webinar, and it deals with something to do with day trading and a skill or something we need to be watching out for. Whatever it is, we're going to have it on that Wednesday. Sometimes I take suggestions. If people will say, hey, I want a class on this, and that ends up being the weekly webinar. Now, you also get the Day Trading the Average Joe Way course. I do those once a week. So as long as you are subscribed, you will get those one every week. Also, the Trader's Mindset, the psychology workshop, that is also a part of the this program. Now, the swing trading, I have a separate swing trading chat room that I'm only in there for a couple minutes in the morning because we're talking about the day, talking about what we see in the market, what stocks I'm going to watch that day for entry. But usually after 10 o'clock, there's nothing else. If I'm not in the positions, it may be difficult for me to excuse me, I caught so something went down the wrong way. We have excuse me, we have the swing trading education chat room. I'm only there for the morning part for maybe an hour or so. We talk about what we're looking at that day, what stocks I'm focusing on, and all of that. We have a weekly watch list and strategy session that we do every Sunday morning, where I build my weekly watch list, stocks that I'm going to be watching throughout the week, and kind of talk about the market, what we see in it, what I'm expecting, and all of that. That's every Sunday morning. You get access to the swing trading, the average Joe Way course, and the Trader's Mindset Workshop. If you want to see what's in each course, just check that video out I did yesterday. It talks specifically about what's in each course. And I've added to the day trading, I've added to the swing trading. So you'll see everything that I add in there. Now, here's the questions that everybody's been asking. As long as you are an active member, everything you do everything you pay, your subscription costs, everything will be the same. If you're a monthly subscriber and you're paying $69 a month, you're going to continue to pay that, but you'll be getting everything. Whether you want to do day trading, swing trading, whatever, that's what it is. If you're active, that price is going to lock in, and you're going to pay that no matter how much I add to the community. You're still going to get it at that price. So that's why I said last night, it's up. If you want to get in, fly in under the radar, and you want to get locked in at that price, you got one more day to sign up for it. The yearly, the same way. If you want the yearly subscription, you save a ton of money. So instead of paying $5.99, you pay $3.99. You get a year subscription, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So you got one more day to fly in under the radar if that's what you want to do. And again, you get the classes. Now, I did announce one thing yesterday. The combination. Everybody that's a member now will get everything. You don't have to worry about a combination deal. You get everything. So that's after tomorrow. That's when the combo stuff kicks in. So there's no, like I said, I didn't want to segregate anything. Really, the problem is I didn't intend on this to become a business to support me. That's not what I was. Somehow, listening to a lot of people, it ended up going in that direction. That's not what I want. That's not what it is. I want to be able to focus on teaching, and I want to be able to focus on trading. Those two things. And so making this thing easy and seamless and turning it into a true education community, that's what I'm doing. And, those that already have the classes, you've already paid, you got lifetime membership. You can take the class anytime I do it. You have full access. You'll never have to pay another dime for anything to deal with those classes. Plus, you get a pretty good discount when your chat room subscription runs out. So that, I'll be talking more about that in December. You'll be pleasantly surprised with that as well. So also, the guys that were here, that we're doing the fourth quarter challenge with me, we're working on developing that skill. You see the adjustments I made today. You guys have the same option at the end of December when your subscription runs out. You have the option to pay the $149 for the quarterly subscription and keep it going. You'll be grandfathered in under that. And, everything comes alive November 1st. So But if you have any questions or anything, just email me. I'll be happy to try and explain it to you. But just know, if you're in, you're in. If you're out, you're out. It's just that simple. If you're in, you get everything. If you're out, you don't. I don't know how more plain I can put that. But my focus is on teaching. My passion is teaching and trading. That's where my focus needs to be. And today I felt so much clearer and so much better now that this is starting to come together. You wouldn't believe how much better I felt today. So I know I'm headed in the right direction with this. So if you need to email me, ed@averagejoetrader.com, or you can catch me on Twitter, Instagram. I'm starting to put more stuff on Instagram, more stuff on Facebook. I'm just trying to get social media. That's all I'm doing. I'm not going to pay for marketing and all that stuff. I'm here to help who wants to be helped. And if you're willing to invest in you, I'm willing to invest in you. So when you're ready, I am here. So you guys have a great evening, a great night, and we will see you bright and early in the morning.